Welcome back. 10 minutes past 8 is the time. Very good morning to you if you're just joining us. William Roache could be back on the Coronation Street set within months, we understand, after being cleared of all rape and indecent assault charges.
The 81-year-old actor has played Ken Barlow for more than half a century.
But the drama wasn't just on screen. In the 90s, the Sun newspaper branded him boring. He fought them in court and won. But legal costs forced him into debt and he declared himself bankrupt. Last year, he made headlines again, arrested and charged with 2 counts of rape and 5 counts of indecent assault, later reduced to 4 charges on 5 girls aged 16 and under, all alleged to have happened in the 60s and 70s. The trial took 4 weeks. The jury took just hours to reach a verdict of not guilty on all charges.
In these situations, there are no winners. And I think we should all be much kinder to ourselves. So now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to get back to work. Thank you.
Well, joining us now is Amanda Barrie, who, of course, played Alma Baldwin in Coronation Street and worked, of course, alongside William Roache. So how did you feel when you heard the verdict yesterday? What went through your mind?
Well, I never believed it in the first place. It would have been a tragedy. It would have been just ridiculous if that charge had been brought. But he said it, he's right in what he just said. There aren't any winners in this, and it doesn't just go away. And what it must have put him through.
I mean, what has it? Have you talked to him about how he's coping?
No, I did. I left a message last night. I think everybody's left a message. I think his answer machine must be going out the window.
Yeah.
That kind of behaviour for you, having known him for as long as you have, would be completely out of character.
Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you know how it is when you work. I mean, particularly in Granada doing Corrie, you're sort of like sardines in a tin with scripts. You know, there's not very much room for anybody. After all those years, I think he was the epitome of the English gentleman. And I think Annie said that as well, Annie Kirkbride. But he was somebody, he was the elder statesman.
And yet our viewers will remember a headline not that long ago in which Ken was attributed as saying, you know, I've slept with 1,000 women.
William Roache was
William.
Yeah.
Ken, not Ken Roache.
Sorry,
but darling, we do know that you gentlemen do exaggerate these things.
Exactly.
So maybe that's what might affect.
It could have been ballyhoo. I'm just reminding you of the headline.
It could have been, but it was... and I don't think at any point in Bill's life, he's not the sort of person who would have forced himself on anyone, and I don't think he ever needed to, really. I think he had people running after him from all directions.
I mean, a lot of people, actors and actresses from Corrie, like Jean Alexander and Ken Morley, have come out and said that it's worse than just awful. You know, it should never have come to court. It's a huge waste of taxpayers' money.
Well, I mean, are the CPS... I mean, they've gone like health and safety, haven't they?
Well, that's your view,
It is my view that they have gone like... My view, my humble view, that they've gone like health and safety. Because, I mean, if health and safety had been around at the beginning of the war, I mean, they probably would have stopped the little boats going to Dunkirk saying they weren't safe. And I think it's gone the same way, this ridiculous... I sort of started to look last night at the case, and, I mean, somebody who couldn't remember. It's not helping women if you bring a case that doesn't stand up.
What do you think about the argument that you know, there is an argument that defendants in cases like this should remain anonymous?
Well, the police think not because
until there's a verdict, that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually think they should remain anonymous, but then if it's somebody in the public eye, how would you ever remain anonymous? Because the media will be onto it.
And the other argument against it, of course, is that in the case where police suspect there's a serial offender, by naming that person,
the others will come forward,
and therefore it's a...
But then what worries me is when people go back and say, oh, I just remember that 50 years ago, 60 years ago, I can't quite remember when, and that person is really famous.
So we know he's going back in to start filming in a couple of months, hopefully back on our screens by the end of the year. I mean, do you think he can put it to bed now and move on?
If anybody can put it to bed, I shouldn't say them, it's Bill Roache, because if anyone I know who is the most positive, loving, kind, honest man, and above all, Bill is a very honest man. He is a nobleman. He should be being knighted, not attacked.
Good to meet you.
Good to be. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Steve, for coming in.
Thank you for asking me.
Thank you.
OK, coming up next, he's